U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio urged China to speak with Iran to hold its decision from closing the Strait of Hormuz, a vital trade route of oil and gas in the world. In an interview on Fox News, Rubio called on the Chinese government to discuss the matter with Iran as the Asian giant heavily depend on the Strait of Hormuz for their oil. The potential closure of the Strait of Hormuz stems from the U.S. airstrikes yesterday on Iran's three key nuclear facilities, the Fordow, Isfahan, and Natanz. The United States has now joined the Israel-Iran conflict with President Donald Trump saying that he and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu teamed up for the airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities.
Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Netanyahu also responds in a speech congratulating Trump on the move and calling it a bold decision.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do.
In Trump's announcement, he referred Iran as the bully among the Middle Eastern countries and demanded it to pursue peace. Trump repeatedly said Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, whether it's against Israel or any other country. Iran previously said their nuclear program is for peaceful means only and has no intention of producing nuclear weapons. However, Israel is widely assumed to have nuclear weapons themselves, which they did not deny nor confirm. Following yesterday's U.S. attacks, Iran retaliated by launching 2 missile attacks to Israel, soon followed by a major decision that will affect the global economy. Iranian state-owned media reported that Iran's parliament backed the decision of closing the Strait of Hormuz, citing a senior lawmaker. However, the final decision on the closure of the Strait of Hormuz will depend on Iran's National Security Council. The Strait of Hormuz is a small passageway controlled by Iran and Oman on the north side and the United Arab Emirates on the south. Around 20% of the world's oil and gas supply passes through the strait, amounting to roughly 20 million barrels of oil pass through here daily. Iran, the third largest oil producer in the world, produced over 3 million barrels per day and exported nearly 2 million barrels last month. The majority of this oil were sold to China, Asia's largest economy, according to data from Kepler. The Chinese embassy in Washington has not responded so far. Closing the Strait of Hormuz would hurt other countries, even the United States itself. In other words, such a move would significantly impact global oil prices. Goldman Sachs and consulting firm Rapidan Energy said oil prices may also cost of up to $100 per barrel should the Strait of Hormuz be closed for a prolonged period. Rubio warns Iran that if they close the Strait of Hormuz, it will be a terrible mistake and an economic suicide. He added that if Iran decides to close the Strait of Hormuz, the world would come against them, describing it as a suicidal move that would harm many countries.